what I try to do is I've had Brian Tracy on my show, a legend. I mean,
I
he is
watched that one. Yeah.
the legend. He's incredible. And I was blown away. Like I felt sorry for anybody after him because like he was the guy. Like when I started my show, I was like, someday I'm going to have Brian Tracy on my show. And I did. And so it's like, well, now everything else is downhill, but it's not. I've had some great guests. Um, but now, and I'm very selective now.
Welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast, where we bring to you the most successful, happy, fulfilled gentlemen from around the world who have been able to conquer themselves, their life, their marriage, and their businesses. You will be learning from four-dimensional gentlemen who have cracked the code to the science of having it all. The question is, how can married entrepreneurs with kids become gentlemen, achieve true freedom, and build a successful, happy, and fulfilled life, marriage, and business? This show will give you the answer for that. My name is Alex Ramirez, and I'm your host, and you're welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, Fulfillment Talk podcast. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast. As always, I have an incredible guest with me today that I'm very excited to talk to, get to learn from, and connect with, because he is connected to everybody. And that's what I'm all about, connecting with people, networking. So I'm excited. And I just want to ask you all for a favor before we get started. I want to ask you that if you get something out of this interview, if you get some type of value, some type of information and insight, a skill, or the inspiration to go out and take action, to keep on moving forward towards your goals, I want to ask you to please share this episode with 10 friends. Share it on social media, share it on your story, share the link on your Facebook, on your Instagram. Share it with 10 people, since this is how we grow. This is how we share our message and motivate, inspire, and bless other men and women out there to tap into their God-given potential and have it all. And today I have Ken Walls. He's the #1 best-selling author, CEO of a web development and social media firm, and creator of the Grow Live Academy, a comprehensive course on how to successfully use social media, video, and live streaming to build your personal or business brand and generate revenue. And Ken's passion is helping people succeed. Ken also has a podcast called Breakthrough Walls, which, it's his last name, but it's cool. It's a cool name, where he interviews celebrities and successful entrepreneurs who shares their stories to help people get past influences that may be keeping them stuck. So that's a really exciting thing, because that's literally what I do as well. That's literally what I've been doing, and I've been seeing tremendous growth. So I'm excited to have you, Ken. I'm excited to have you, man. And thank you very much for being here. You're welcome, man.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So, brother, the first thing that I do with my guests, man, is I ask them to walk us through their entrepreneurial journey in 75 seconds or less.
Wow. I started at 7 years old. I grew up in a very, very poor family and had to figure out how to make money on my own as a kid. That's carried over into my adult life. In my 20s, I built a multi-million-dollar company from nothing and drank it all away. Today, I'm a recovered alcoholic coming up on 20 years of sobriety. Started my web development. I mean, I've been in computers since I was about 11. I've been messing around with computers and programming and stuff. And I've been doing professional web development, graphic design stuff since 2002 professionally. But I today I just I do primarily higher level stuff. I used to work on Grant Cardone's website and do his SEO and a lot of other big people. But yeah, today I coach and I teach people how to use social media. A lot of things actually, but yeah, that's
awesome.
A brief 75-second summary.
Well, I'm excited to dive a little bit deeper into everything, and I love how you mentioned Grant Cardone, man. I have all of his stuff, and
yeah.
we've invested in everything that he has, and I'm actually excited to have him on my podcast. I haven't been able to get him to accept to be on my podcast, but you know who I've been able to get to accept? His wife. So I guess that's gonna help a little bit.
Yeah.
Too. So I'm excited. So talk to me, man. So what is like that high level stuff that you got going on right now?
What do you mean? What?
Yeah. So you said you do like social media, you have Grow Live Academy, and so what is it that you do right now? What is like your focus?
The Grow Live Academy is it's an academy where I teach live streaming. So back in 2014, I saw Grant doing a lot of live streams. I didn't know who he was at the time. And it's a long story I won't go into, but I became friends with him. He became a client of mine. I was a client of his. I had a show on the Grant Cardone TV network for a while. And I've done well over 3,000 live streams. I teach I teach podcasting and I teach it via live streaming though. Like I don't teach recording it. I teach doing it live cause I personally will not listen to a podcast, but I'll watch a live stream.
Really?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
1000%. Yep. So, I teach people to live stream. So you tap into that audience as well, the people that don't listen to podcasts. And so, but anyway, that's what the Grow Live Academy is. And then I have a Thursday night call. It's a mastermind call that I have people like, I have a friend, he's a billionaire out in Beverly Hills that his name is Ramy Albatrawi, and Ramy comes in and teaches a lot, teaches people how to grow their business and their mindset. He wrote a book called, it's right next to me, called Can You Really Think and Grow Rich? It's endorsed by the Napoleon Hill Foundation. In fact, I'll be in Los Angeles in a couple of weeks at his house for a big fundraiser event there. And then we're getting on his private jet and flying down to have dinner with Dennis Waitley in San Diego. So, back to my Grow Live Academy, I teach people how to live stream, how to build an audience, how to keep an audience, how to get people to share your stuff out so you can grow your audience even more. I teach people how to interview a guest on a podcast, what questions to ask, how to make it flow. And I do all that. And then we do the live coaching calls every Thursday night.
Cool. So it sounds like you help people create like this celebrity brand that you've been able to create, right? Because like I went through your stuff and you're like connected to everybody and just, like speaking books and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And it's really awesome. So, can you give me a little bit of insight into how can someone create a celebrity brand for themselves and position themselves as the go-to and authority of their field?
Frequency, it's what Grant Cardone says the best known will always beat the best. You could be the best hamburger maker in the world, and if nobody knows about your hamburgers, well, they're not gonna you're not gonna be very successful. It's who knows you. Grant talks about this too, and I totally agree with this. There's a saying that says that goes, it's not who you know, or it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that's not true. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. And you can call Grant and say, you can ask Elena, do you know who Ken Walls is? And she will say, absolutely. And so will Grant. And you can ask, I've had Mark Cuban retweet me. Gary V follows me on Twitter. I've had, you can ask Mark Victor Hansen, do you know Ken Walls? And he will sing praises about me. And I'm not saying all of this to brag, because back in 2014, I was just a website guy doing $100,000 a month. And which is nothing in the grand scheme of things, and I thought I was living large. And that's when I met Grant. I won a trip on his private jet. And instead of going on his jet, I flew to Miami, and he gave me 3 hours one-on-one time at his desk.
That's crazy, man.
It changed my life, completely changed my life. And I said, he said, what are you hiding from? I said, what do you mean hide? I'm not hiding from anything. He's like, dude, I look at your social media. I've got to be your friend to see your stuff. You're barely posting anything. You're doing that, and named all these things. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. He's like, if you want to blow up, you got to get attention. And the only way to get attention is to be loud, man. And frequency. I have people reach out to me. I could show you right now on LinkedIn the messages I get every day, 10 plus messages a day that I call spam messages. They're just like, hey, Ken, I was checking out your profile. Listen, let me tell you about me and what we do and how great we are and what we can do for you. And I'm like, dude, here, I sent him a video. I have it programmed as a short code on my iPhone. I sent him a video. I just type in SPM for spam. I type in SPM, it automatically fills in this text with a link. I send it, and they have to watch they always watch it. And it's me going, hey, thanks for reaching out, but there are better ways. And I teach those better ways. Why don't you join the Grow Live Academy and learn how to foster relationships, really learn how to build relationships with people instead of coming at them like the way you are now. And that has nobody, by the way, nobody's ever bought my course as a result of that, but they also never reach out to me again, which is, it's like, look, either learn how to do it the right way or don't do it. And because do you get those messages? I think everybody gets those messages on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and on Facebook and on Instagram.
Yeah. And you ignore them, right? Or you block them, or I normally just block them. I honestly do. I normally just block them.
Well, I'm glad you didn't block me, bro. If not, we wouldn't be here, right?
Yeah, that's right. You did. You got through. I don't know how you did, but you got through.
That's crazy, right? Yeah. I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Well done. So, I think that I have, that's the other thing. Look, in this world, we all need money. Every one of us, we need money. We all want money. We all want a better life. We want to make the world a better place. We've all been through a bunch of bullshit in life. We've all had pain and suffering. We've all been through it. Everybody has a story. Mm-hmm. What I try to do is I've had Brian Tracy on my show, a legend. I mean,
I watched that one. Yeah.
Legend. He's incredible. And I was blown away. Like, I felt sorry for anybody after him because like he was the guy. Like when I started my show, I was like, someday I'm going to have Brian Tracy on my show. And I did. And so it's like, well, now everything else is downhill, but it's not. I've had some great guests. But now, and I'm very selective now as to who I have on the show. I don't just have anybody on. I'm very selective. It's different.
Me too. That's why you're here, bro.
Thank you. But that it becomes, it starts to morph into something else. It starts to grow and so, anyway, with the one thing that I teach in relationship building and attraction marketing is learning how to actually connect heart to heart, how to really connect with somebody. I interviewed somebody yesterday, super amazing, awesome guest. And he's a sales expert. And I mean, this guy's a genius. And I didn't really talk a lot. I just asked him questions, good questions, probing questions. And he did 90% of the talking or more. And at the end, after I ended the recording and it was just him and I talking, he said, wow, that's one of the best podcasts I've ever been on. That's unbelievable. Yeah. And I said, really? And he's like, yeah. And I've heard that many times, and I'm not bragging. It's because I just let them talk, because people like to talk. They like to hear themselves talk. They like to talk about their story. And that's why I started the show, was just to let people talk and tell their story. And it's amazing, man. Like, I'm sitting here going, okay, I'm getting a hold of Patrick Bet-David to get him on my show. And
that's awesome.
I've had Jesse Itzler. I'm talking to him. I mean, I just, all these different people that I've already had some super high level people, but it's because I give them the stage. I give them the microphone and just let them go.
That's great, man. Yeah. Great insight. I'm going to implement that, and I'm going to be more aware, right? To make sure that I'm not the one doing the talking, but to let my guests do the talking, to make it about them and not about me. So Thanks
Yeah.
for that insights. And I
Yeah.
love what you said about, people say it's not, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But then you take it a little bit further. It's not who you know, it's who knows you, which got me really excited because, a lot of people are starting to know me, right? Because I have about 142 interviews, right, so far in the past couple of months. And I'm just
Yeah.
like doing like 15 interviews per week.
Yep.
And, it's also high level people, men who I call modern gentlemen, right? Men, I
Yep.
interview men who are the type of men that I want to be, who are doing the types of things that I want to do, and who have the life that I want to have.
Yeah.
They're decades ahead of me. So this what you're talking about, right? I know that you're a masterful connector, and you're talking about actually building a strong relationship by connecting heart to heart. So like I'm interested in hearing more about that, man. So what do you mean with like connecting heart to heart with someone? How do you do that?
Man, what's interesting is if I remember a long time ago being single and going to the bars and trying to pick up women, and what's funny is I've looked back. Well, back then I would reflect on, like, wonder why I couldn't, that girl wasn't interested in me, or,
Mm-hmm.
and what's crazy about human psychology, man, is the more that I'm interested in someone else and their story and letting them talk and asking the questions that will get them to talk, the more interesting I become to that person. And so it's the truth in sales. I'll tell you a very quick story. I long time ago, I intuitively knew this. I don't know how, but a long time ago, I walk into this company. I was selling this service for a company. I was only 21 or 22 years old, and this guy's like, if this is one of those blah blah blah, and it's going to require $5,000 or $10,000 up front, you can pack your shit up and get the hell out of here right now. And that's exactly what I was selling, right?
Uh-huh.
But I didn't. I said, I understand. May I sit down and just talk for a few minutes? And he's like, go ahead. And I look over on the wall, and he's got a picture of an airplane. And it happened that my brother-in-law owned a bunch of airplanes and all this stuff. And I said, is that a Cessna 172? And he said, it is. And I go, wow, that's a nice plane. And we completely not talking about what I was there to sell him. We were talking about his airplane, which, look, people display what they're proud of on their walls and on their desks and in their shot on the screen. What am I proud of? My kids back here. There's one of 25 of those books right there. That's Grant Cardone's first book, Sell or Be Sold. There's only 25 of those in the world, and I own one of them. It's a leather
Cool.
bound black leather bound copy of Sell or Be Sold, and I own one of them. I'm proud of that thing, so I display it. So people, you've got to become, people need to wake freaking up and stop thinking the entire world is about them, because it's not. It's about other people. That doesn't mean that you don't love yourself, you don't take care of yourself. But if you make life about other people, your life will be magical, man. It's a universal principle. And so when I meet with people, I just let them talk about them. I find their genius spot, and then I point it out to them. I go, man, that's so smart, and I want to hear more about that, and I let them talk about that. And as a result, when I end these interviews, or I end a conversation with somebody, it's always like, man, that was amazing. You were a great interviewer. Thank you so much. And so that fits into everything in life. If you want your kid to be more responsive, make the conversations about them and their little hearts and their desires, and watch them open up, and watch your kids open up. If you want a better relationship with your boss at work, or some coworker that you think hates you, ask them about themselves, find out information about them. Grant and I became, I'll tell you why. If you go to clientsi.com, that's my company website, and scroll down, there's a post of Grant and Elena holding 2 bottles of wine with my assistant in the photo. Back when I first signed a $36,000 contract with Grant to get Cardone University for my salespeople, I called my guy that signed me up, who now runs the sales department. His name is Todd Straw. And I said, Todd, could you transfer me to Grant? And he said, no. And I said, why? He's like,
Hey, sorry for the interruption. Real quick, do you want to know how I've been using my podcast to build a multi-million-dollar network with over 100, 7, 8, and 9-figure entrepreneurs? Reach hundreds of my ideal clients with my message, coaching, service, and podcast. Get invited to speak on 4 stages in the last 2 months alone. Throw my own events and have over 100 successful entrepreneurs being willing to speak at my events. Become a millionaire in 1 year. Get mentored by multimillionaires and achieve goals that I thought were going to take me 10 years to achieve in 1 year. And ultimately get unstuck and make quantum leaps of progress in my business and life with less than 1 hour of work just by being myself. If you answered yes to any of those, I just want to invite you to a free training showing you how I've been able to build a multi-million-dollar network that is helping me achieve bigger income goals faster with only 1 hour of speaking and just being myself. To be honest, I thought I was going to be a multi-millionaire, speak on stages, throw my own events, and live a successful, happy, and fulfilled life of growth and impact in 10 years from now. That seemed so far away, but my podcast has been able to help me do that in less than 6 months. I'm actually doing all of that this year at the age of 21 with my podcast. I'm reaching thousands of people with my message, my service, my podcast, my coaching. I've gotten booked to speak on 4 stages in the last 2 months. And on these stages, I'm going to be getting in front of hundreds of my ideal clients, making roughly around 15 to 30K plus per event. Not only that, I have a network of over 100 high-level, multi-million-dollar entrepreneurs who have all agreed to speak at my events. Getting clients is a problem of the past. I've gotten the opportunities to learn from billionaires, and I'm collapsing decades of time, and I'm literally achieving what I thought was going to take me 10 years to achieve in 1 year. All of this because I use podcasting as a networking tool, and I leveraged a rare concept called the cloak track. And I want the exact same thing for you. Just imagine where you could be in 1 year from now if you get this free training right now. That is why I'm inviting you to this training. On this short training, you're going to learn how a small group of purpose-driven entrepreneurs, authors, coaches, course creators, and speakers have combined podcasting with this rare concept called the cloak track to build a multi-million-dollar network, reach thousands of their ideal clients with their message, books, courses, coaching, make an extra $118,800, get booked on 10 stages, and build a successful network of entrepreneurs who speak on their stage, all of this in under 6 months. I'm going to walk you through the 4 steps to make this work. Step number 1, alignment. Getting clear on who you want to be, what you want to do, your goals, your purpose, and aligning all of this with building your podcast and your ideal podcast guest. Step number 2, leveraging the cloak track to find your ideal podcast guest and never running out of them. Step number 3, leveraging the cloak track to close an interview with anyone, no matter how rich, famous, or out of your league they may seem. And step number 4, the content machine. The content machine is the key to tapping into other people's audiences. And I'm going to show you all of those 4 steps. The link to access this free training is in the description of this video. Click on it and go watch this training right now so that you can learn how you can too build a multi-million-dollar network that helps you achieve bigger goals faster and with less effort. Note, this training is only available to 18 people, so act right now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. Bye-bye.
Because I'll get fired. I'm not doing that. What do you need? And I said, I need to talk to Grant, dude. I need him as a client. And he goes, well, bro, I can't transfer you. I go, well, dude, I spend $1,000 a month with you guys. And he goes, no offense, but Grant could drop that on the ground, not even care to stop and pick it up. I mean, like, you're going to have to do better than that. And I said, okay. So he goes, just get creative, man. I don't know what to tell you. So I thought, okay, Grant and Elena like red wine, and I had a client that owned a winery. So I made these bottles of, I had custom bottles made
Awesome.
with Grant's picture and his family on, and it said the world's favorite 10x family on this label. My designer did it. And I had these bottles of wine, and I was like, man, I wish I could fly these to Miami myself, but and I'm not shipping them. I don't want them broken in during shipping and have red wine fly all over Grant's white shirt or something. That's not how I want to get his attention. So my assistant staying there, and I go, I wish I could just fly these down, but I'm busy. And this was a Thursday. And she's like, I'll fly down and deliver them. I said, you will? And she goes, yeah. And I go, let me check flights. I check flights. I go, you have an hour and a half to be at the airport. Go run home, get a bag, get back here. I'll have this other guy run you to the airport. And it worked out. She flew down there. She waited on Grant and Elena that Friday morning. They didn't show up on time. We thought they were going to be late. Long story short, they showed up, and Grant called me that morning, and it was from Todd's cell phone. So when I knew Todd's cell phone, I answer the phone. I'm like, what's up, dude? And I hear, is this Ken Walls? And I go, holy shit, it's Grant. Grant, what are you doing, man? And he's like, dude, I'm sitting here with this beautiful young lady you sent down here with these bottles of wine, man. I said, oh, yeah, you got them good. And he's like, dude, this is the classiest thing anybody's ever done for me, which I don't, come on, man, you're Grant. Like, but that was in 2014 when he was still on the come up. And he still is. If you asked him, he hasn't made shit, and he has.
He's just starting. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I hope he said it to me. He reached out, a long story, but I'm the first person to interview Grant after Undercover Billionaire.
That's crazy, man.
Right. And he reached out to me. It's a long story, but he's like, man, I'm just hoping someday I get a break, bro. That's what he said to me. I'm like, yeah, man, I hope you do too, bro. But like, it's all about what can I do for other people, and then people that live in a self-centered, selfish world, they rationalize their bullshit by saying, yeah, but you got to put your mask on first. I'm not saying don't put your mask on first, yo. I'm saying learn how to make life about other people. If you make life about other people, man, they'll want to be in your life. They'll want to help you. They'll want to help you grow. They'll want to help you get to the next level, but you've got to learn how to get out of your own way and make life about other people. And that's all of the stuff that I teach in the Grow Live Academy. That's all of the stuff I teach in my coaching, my one-on-one coaching. I'm doing the Craig Duswalt, one of my best friends in the world, toured the world with a band called Air Supply for 7 years. And then he toured the world with Guns N' Roses for 4.5 years. He was Axl Rose's personal assistant. Craig reaches out to me. I'm speaking at his conference in Dallas July 7th or 8th or something like that. And then I fly to Beverly Hills to meet with the Ramey and my buddy out there.
Yeah, that's really cool, by the way. You're gonna have a lot of fun.
It's crazy. But Craig reached out to me and he said, dude, I want to do a high-level mastermind with you. Just him and I. And so we rented a 15,000 square foot mansion in Orlando, Florida. And we're having a high level mastermind there where we have Paul Stanley from Kiss is going to be there. A lot of other really famous people are going to be there speaking to everybody in the group. It's only 30 people allowed, application thing that we're doing. But anyway, so you can level up in life by just helping other people level up. And that does not, most people don't get that.
I know, man. So I was at a mastermind this past weekend.
Yeah.
Hosted by a 43-year-old multimillionaire, a 37-year-old multimillionaire, and his multimillionaire 42-year-old wife, right? I'm 21. And there was like 15 people at this mastermind. And we spent 4 days with these 3 people, right? And nobody, man, no fucking body talked to them all day. Like they were like doing their thing. They were in the little groups. They were like, and like, I literally became their, I even cried a couple of times because I was treated like if I was their kid, and they gave me the validation and love that I've been craving my entire life. But I spent the whole 3-4 days stuck to them, just like asking them questions and absorbing and watching how they would like carry themselves, and how they had this attitude of serving people, and how they validated everyone, and how they gave everyone love, and how they were trying to serve and made everything about them, about other people.
Yep.
And I was just like spend the entire weekend just stuck, like really close to them, asking them questions and watching them. But nobody else, everyone else wasn't like in their own groups, their own little cliques. And I don't know what they were thinking, man. Like, that's crazy, right?
But they don't see, people just don't get it. They don't get it. And it's not, I mean, I have 15,000 followers, I think, on Instagram, 75,000 followers on my Facebook fan page. I'm always at the 5,000 friend limit on my personal page. Facebook reached out to me and gave me the blue check mark. I didn't reach out to them. They
That's
contacted
cool,
me.
man. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
I never heard
right?
of
Me neither.
that.
About shit, dude. I had COVID. I just got out of the hospital with COVID and double pneumonia. And I get an email. And you know how you get those weird emails, they're spams. And I get this email from Facebook, something, and I'm like, what's that? It says, your profile qualifies to be verified.
Do you want the blue check mark?
I was like, yeah, right. Come on, man. This is bullshit. This is spam. It was from Facebook. Because then you go to Facebook and there's the notification from Facebook on the Facebook app. And I was like, oh my God, this is for real. It's about time. I have 75,000 fans. That isn't the page they wanted to verify. They wanted to verify my personal page. Okay, whatever. Like, and then Amazon reached out to me and asked me to be an Amazon influencer.
That's crazy, like, man.
What's that shit? What is that shit? I don't even know what that means. But I'm one of a handful of people on the planet that live stream directly to Amazon and their customers. So
you can do that?
Oh yeah, I can do that. I do it all the time. I get authors that reach out and that have a book, and I do Amazon lives with them, man. It's crazy. And that's something else that I do. I interview a lot of authors, famous authors. I have a lot of authors that I don't interview that reach out to me. And I'm not trying to be arrogant. They just need to work harder than I'm willing to work on selling their book. And then, once they hit a certain level, but, I have authors that I'll be like, hey, I think it's great, who you are and the book you've written. You're an amazing human. I'd love to have you on Amazon sometime. You can talk about your book directly to Amazon's 300 million customers if you'd like. And they're like, really? Yeah, that's a thing. And I'm like, I know, right? I didn't know either, but it is. So, and they gave me a blue check mark. So I have a blue check mark on Amazon too.
That's really cool, man.
Which is crazy to say.
I've never heard of anyone getting reached out by Facebook to, Facebook wants to give them the like blue check mark. And two, I've never heard anyone having a blue check mark on Amazon, man.
And Facebook now is paying me, man, to do live streaming. Like, it's nuts. They pay me every month. And it's not a lot. It's only like $500 a month or something, but it's a couple of nice dinners, So yeah. I'm like, this is crazy, man. And listen, it's all because I sat in Grant's office back in 2014 or 15. And he said, what the fuck are you hiding from? And I'm like, okay. I'm not hiding from anything, man. And he's like, you got to get your foot off the brake, man. Stomp on the gas. You got to freaking, and you get rid of the bullshit people in your life and only have the right people in your circle, and make sure you're watching. Cause if a bad one gets in, you got to cut them loose, man, get them out. And he's right. And it was all of those things that I did. And man, I'm telling you that when you, because fear, I mean, I didn't have a dad growing up. I had a stepdad that was a monster, but I didn't have a dad. He took off, and I didn't have a dad. And so the only evidence of a father I had was a bad example.
A step monster.
Yeah. And so, I just say, look, don't live in your story of pain and remorse. It's easy to fall into that trap. It almost killed me, with drugs and alcohol. I didn't do drugs. But don't live in that story. Make a new story. Like we
But
have,
people don't know that, man. People don't know that they're in charge and that they can create a new story for themselves.
this is one of the most famous comedians in the world, Steve
Okay.
Rizzo. He's a really good friend of mine. He wrote this book, Conversations with Bob. I'm reading it right now. It's one of the best books I've ever read, actually. And I called him yesterday and I said, dude, I didn't know you were this smart. And he started laughing. I'm like, this book is unbelievable. And it really is. It's all about how to attract what you want into your life and how to change that story. It's the stories that we're telling. Like if I said to you, Alex, I want you at our mastermind. It's $25,000 to be there for the VIP experience. And you get to stay at the mansion with me and Craig and some other only 5 VIPs are allowed to stay there. So there's only 5 people. Your brain, most
Will be
of
like
the time,
$25,000.
20,
What?
right. Most of the time people are like, oh my God, 25,000 or 50,000 or 100,000 or whatever it is. They immediately start making excuses in their mind before it ever leaves their mouth. The excuses start, and those excuses were programmed in us by parents and teachers and preachers and people in our lives. So it's getting rid of those alibis that we already have that are just waiting to roll off our tongue. As soon as somebody says, hey, would you buy this? You need this. You need to do this. As soon as we have excuses. And I don't live with excuses, man. I don't do it. I've done it. Listen, I've did it for a long, long time. I don't do it anymore, man. No excuses. Awesome. I take 100% responsibility for everything in my life and I just freaking go. And that doesn't mean I don't make mistakes. I make mistakes, dude, but I don't stay in them. Just move through them, go.
Awesome. That was a great insight. But I think that even a bigger problem, like a bigger problem, even bigger than those stories, is that people are not even aware of them, right? Because like you cannot see the label, like you're inside of a jar and you cannot see the label of your own jar. So that's why you need coaches. That's why you need to like pay other people so that they can come and look at your label and be like, hey man, you need to get rid of this and change it for this, right? But like becoming aware is the problem, and fear is what keeps you trapped in it. And that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's fear. Here, I ask this question at the end of every one of my shows. I ask the guests, in your opinion, what do you think is keeping people from, number one, experiencing real financial success, and number two, experiencing happiness and freedom? And I do think those two things are related, because I've been homeless and broke, and I've been wealthy, and wealthy is way better than homeless and broke. And they, and I always say, and by the way, fear is the number one answer. So you have to do better. What's interesting is I say that, and then they go, it's the stories they're telling themselves. Brian Tracy, it's the stories that they're telling themselves about what's possible. It's the stories that they're living in that somebody else And here's the thing, Alex, if I said to you, hey, we've been on here for 53 minutes or whatever. If I said to you, hey dude, how many times have you blinked in the last 53 minutes? How many times has your heart beat? How many breaths have you taken? You have no idea. You don't know. You can't even come close to calculating how many, because you have no idea. It is happening unconsciously by your subconscious mind is making all that shit happen. And guess what? 95% of the rest of your life is happening unconsciously too.
That's crazy.
You're going through life just doing the same shit over and over and over, making the same hand gestures, doing all the same stuff over and over and over. And you don't even realize that you're doing stuff to sabotage your own life. And so that's where you need to become consciously aware. And there's only one way to change unconscious programming, and that's to make concerted conscious effort into writing out what it is that you actually want to manifest in your life. You've got to write this shit down. Grant talks about writing your goals twice a day. I 1000% agree with him. You write your goals twice a day. You write down I am affirmation, positive affirmation statements that are adjectives, not adverbs. You write down positive things about yourself, and you make sure that you start every day and end every day with gratitude.
Super important. Yeah, for sure.
And
So, man,
your life will be magical.
we have 5 minutes, and I have 5 questions for you.
Go.
And the first one is, if you could give your 20-year-old self some advice, what would that be?
I don't think I could. And I say that because I thought I knew everything then. And even though I said, no, I know I don't know everything, inside I felt like I did. And life is a journey, man. You just kind of take it, I don't know that my 20-year-old self would have listened to me is the problem.
Damn. Yeah.
I don't think he would have. I don't think he would have. At 21, you got so much testosterone. You got so much, like, you just feel like you got the world by its balls, and you just don't listen to I'll be 54 in July, and
you look awesome, bro.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. But I don't think I would have listened to it. I mean, I had people give me advice. I didn't listen to them.
Okay. So then listen, right? Like, realize that life is a journey, that you don't know what you don't know, and listen more.
Listen to others. Cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The next question is mindset. So what is one mindset shift, Ken, that you've had that you think has contributed to your success?
Being positive, man, and no negativity at all is allowed.
Having a positive attitude.
No negativity. And where is this? I'm looking for something to show. Oh, this. And this is the most important thing right here. I'm going to show it to you. Ready?
Don't be a little bitch. Cool.
That's Grant Cardone's bracelet, man. I bought a bunch of these on grantcardone.com. Don't be a little bitch, man. Life's going to come at you. Things are going to happen. You're going to have to bob and weave. You're going to have to keep going. You're going to have to kick your way through shit. You're going to have to kick doors in. You're going to have to just keep going, man. But that's life. Got to keep doing it.
Awesome. So don't be a little bitch. And the other one was, what was the other one? I forgot. Positivity, right? So positive.
Yeah, be positive. Sorry. Yeah, I was like, what did I say? No negativity at all, man. None.
Cool.
Be positive.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks, man. So mindset map. So do you have any advice for people who may lack or need clarity for their life?
Don't give up. You'll figure it out. Don't give up. Start writing. The most important. I have a journal I sell on Amazon called the 10-minute mastery journal that I came up with. And it's writing your goals, writing stuff out. And I go through this whole thing, but every day, morning and night. And here's the thing, dude. I can tell 100 people if you do A, B, and C, by the end of 1 year or the end of 2 years or 5 years, you're going to be a multimillionaire. And maybe one person out of 100 will do it.
That's crazy.
Pareto principle. It's because people don't believe in themselves. They don't want to put in all the hard work. And what if I do all that work and it doesn't work out? And so they don't even try. Go put the effort in. Start writing out some big ass goals, things that you want to accomplish. And I'm not talking about the airplanes and the Rolls Royce. Those things will be a byproduct. I'm talking about, like, what is it that you want to do to make the world a better place and have your name on it as the one being recognized for making it better?
That's what it's all about, bro. But that's what it's all about. Like what you're saying right now, it's what it's all about, right? Like making it about other people. What, positive thing do you want to do for the world? And, I know that I heard this 3 years ago and I was like, how can I make money? Like I would hear, entrepreneurs saying, what is it that you want to do for other people? Yep. And then I would think, how can I make money? Right. And that what you're saying right now, I just don't make sure that I don't breeze over it, but that is the key. And, depending on your level of awareness, you like breeze over it and be like, how can I make money instead of how can I help people?
Do I have can I tell you a real quick story?
Yeah.
My 11 or 12-year-old daughter now, she has turned 12. One day I'm like, I got to teach her how. She's so giving and loving and caring, but I'm like, I want to continuously show her. So I said, hey, will you run up the street with me? And she said, yeah, where are we going? I said, well, I need to grab some cash out of the ATM and I want to want to grab something to eat? And she's like, yeah, let's go. And so she rode with me. I got some cash out of the ATM. I said, now I want to find somebody at a gas station to drive up and just bless them and buy their gas. And she said, what? And I go, yeah, let's. So we go in this gas station, didn't see anybody that really needed help. So I go to another gas station on the other side of town, pull in, and I see this old Mustang, some guy getting out of the passenger side, this girl getting out of the driver's side, looked like they were getting out. I don't know if they were. And I get out and I open my door, I put the car in park. I walk over and I go, here, man, let me buy your gas. And I gave him like $40. And he goes, what? And I go, let me buy your gas. And he goes, did you see us pushing the car? And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, we had to push the car from down the street. We were at the Walmart and we were sitting here trying to figure out how we were going to pay for gas because we don't have any money.
That's crazy, man.
I said, dude, are you serious? And he said, yeah, man, this is unbelievable. And she starts crying. And I go, hold on a minute. I go back in the car and I get another 60 out and I go, here, there's $100, man. I'll buy you the next couple of tanks of gas. See, when we show up, God shows up. When we show up with the right intention. And I showed up for those people. I didn't have to. I could have ignored that prompting, but I didn't. I went to the ATM, I got cash, I took my daughter, and it blew her mind. And she got to see that, you know what? And then like some amazing things happen in my life. So God always helps us. The universe gives back, but we've got to learn how to give unselfishly, help other people, man.
Yeah. And that is the key. So I'll leave it right there. I had 2 more questions, but that was a big enough bomb to cover up for the 2 questions that I was going to ask. So Ken, thank you very much for being here, man. I really appreciate you. I know that you got to go. So where can people go to get to know more of you?
I have a digital business card, kensbizcard.com, or you can go to kenwalls.com, but kensbizcard.com, if you fill out the little quick form on there, it'll actually text you a link to, as long as you have a US phone number, but it'll text you a link to a free download of my really popular ebook.
So I'm in Mexico right now, but I do like my audience is from the US. So yeah, don't worry about that.
Awesome, dude. You go to kensbizcard.com, fill out the form. It'll text you a link for a free ebook.
Yeah. Man, I had an amazing time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'll see you later. Okay.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you for watching the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with one friend, leave us a comment, and let us know. 99% of people never leave a review or comment, but we love and are very thankful with the 1% of you who do. If there's something or someone you want to see on this podcast, send me a message on Instagram at Alex_Ramirez1020 and let me know. As a thank you for that, I have an amazing surprise for each and every one of you who does take the time to leave us a comment or review on YouTube or one of the major podcasting platforms